Hi, welcome to ForexinFour. I'm Mike Conlon for FXEDU. One of the most important things for a trader to understand when it comes to the Forex market is what's going on in world markets. With a little bit of knowledge and an understanding of how Forex works, you can learn how to profit from the fastest growing financial market in the world. In that vein, I've created ForexinFour to give you a quick synopsis of the market day and what to expect in trading currencies. Part fundamental analysis, part technical trading with a focus on world events and risk themes, ForexinFour is the place to come for all things Forex. So get up to speed with ForexinFour and find out how you can participate in the world's largest financial market. Now let's have a look at today's market action. Good morning. Today is March 1st, 2010. This morning we're talking about the British pound, and the blog title is Getting Pounded. The British pound is blown through psychological support levels I identified last week at $1.50 versus USD, as polls in the UK show that the minority party is holding a slight lead in the upcoming elections. The pound is the biggest loser this morning, and it's at a 10-month low versus US dollar. There's a lot of news that we're coming out this week regarding what's happening in the UK as well as some other countries. So let's just take a look at some of this and talk about what's going to happen this week, because this is a busy week for news. We had some various figures coming out as well in the UK that's contributed to pound weakness this morning, as well as Canadian GDP figures. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And at the end of the week, we've got the US non-farm payrolls report, which is always the first Friday of every month, and that's always a big market mover, as well as a couple of interest rate decisions at various places like Australia, Canada, the Eurozone, Great Britain, etc. So a lot on tap this week, so let's have a look and get started. First thing we're looking at is the Aussie dollar this morning. You can see here on the chart, the Aussie's up just slightly against USD. In Australia, they're having their rate decision tomorrow, and it's widely expected that they may move higher on rates. Okay, they had corporate profits reported, and it came in higher for the first time in 5 months, and their manufacturing expanded in its fastest pace since 2007. So right now it looks like the Aussie's in a pretty decent place, and we'll see what happens with rates tomorrow. Also to note that the biggest mover today is the pound versus the Aussie. We can take a look at that right here. As you can see, the Aussie's at a 25-year high versus the pound, so that's a combination of good news in Australia and, of course, bad news in Great Britain. Next, let's take a look at the Kiwi in New Zealand. It's mixed this morning. It's down against USD here and Aussie. There's concerns that the New Zealand economy may have lost some momentum as retail spending and housing market have slowed since the start of the 2010. So this may give the Reserve Bank in New Zealand some reason to be cautious during their next rate hike decision. Okay, it's widely expected, though, that they will raise rates from the 2.5% it's at currently by June. So we'll have to see what happens. But right now, it looks like there's some caution being expressed in New Zealand. Canadian, let's see, the loonie, Canada. Congrats to Canada for winning hockey gold yesterday over the U.S. It's kind of a bummer for me. I enjoy watching hockey, and also, I think the Olympics that they put on over there in Vancouver was just a really good show. We haven't, I can't remember as good an Olympics in some time, so that's really a testament to how things are going in Canada. This morning, they came out with their GDP report, as I wrote in the blog this morning, prior to that report coming out, that a better than expected GDP could put pressure on the Royal Bank of Canada to raise rates soon. Well, the GDP came in at 5%, which is the fastest growth that I've seen in some time. It was expected to come in at 4.2%, so that's really a hot figure. Canada, they're going to have their interest rate decision tomorrow with the Bank of Canada, so we're going to see what happens. I doubt they're going to raise rates this time, but they could say that they're going to go next time. So as you can see, right when that decision came out, right around here at 8:30, you can see, boom, just some Canadian strength happen right there for the loonie. So things look good in Canada. We've been talking about this story. Let's see what happens. Next, we're going to look at the euro. I guess we'll take a look at euro versus pound, because that's the only place that the eurozone's experienced some strength against. We all know the problems out of the euro. problems in Greece. But they also came in with unemployment numbers this morning, showing officially 9.9% unemployment, so that's pretty high. But that guarantees that the ECB is not going to be raising rates on Thursday at their policy meeting. But you should be noted though that people were talking about pound euro parity, and as you can see here, let's look on the chart. We'll just take a look at maybe the let's look at the daily, I guess. Daily charts, that's quite a move up here for the euro versus the pound. If we go back, let's look at this on a 1-year time frame. We could start to see euro pound parity, so that would be a 1-to-1 relationship. We'll have to see what happens and how what takes place in Great Britain to see if this is going to take place. All right, next we're going to look at the pound. Unfortunately for the pound, rather an ugly day. We're looking here, let's go back to the 5-minute here for the, this is pound Aussie. As you can see, took quite a tumble earlier. We mentioned pound is at a 25-year low to the Australian dollar. This morning, they also noted that mortgage approvals dropped to an 8-month low, so it shows sign that the housing recovery is not doing that great there in the UK. There's talk now that the UK may be headed for the double dip recession, so we're going to find out what happens. But on Wednesday, we're going to see their consumer confidence figures, which are expected probably to be low, and then Thursday we're going to see their decision on interest rates. It's not likely that they're going to make any move on interest rates, but they're also going to the Bank of England's also going to make their decision on asset purchases. So if they continue with the quantitative easing and or expand it, that could be seen as a sign that yes, they're trying to stabilize the economy, but that could be bad news for the pound, which could put additional pressure on it. So we're going to have to see what happens there, but keep an eye on the pound situation. Next, we're going to look at the dollar. Dollar is mixed this morning. You can see here, this is pound dollar. Yep, dollar's strong against the pound and the euro. Here we go. We can look at dollar loonie. We saw that earlier. Who else do we want to look at? It's kind of a mixed bag, actually. Let's look at dollar yen. Let's look at it on the 4-hour. We're seeing a little bit of strength here versus the yen. If we look at it on the daily chart, we can see. Let's go back a little bit. You can see right here that there was some, yen strength the last 5 days. Now we're sort of settling. Let's see what happens in Japan. But we've got ISM Manufacturing Index due out at 10 o'clock this morning. So that's going to tell us whether or not the economy is expanding and, what's going on here. But it seems to me that right now in the U.S., we just need time to sort of heal the wounds. As long as, it doesn't go overboard with risk-taking or risk aversion, the dollar should be trading in a range for a little while to come. And lastly, let's look at the yen. We're right here. We're at dollar yen. It's lower this morning. Now we're talked about that battle between the government and the Bank of Japan over quantitative easing issues. Government wants more. Bank of Japan wants less spending. However, this sort of plays out. Right now, it looks like it's basically the yen's trading on risk themes, whether it's risk aversion or risk taking. They're actually expected to report their unemployment figures tonight. Unemployment that's expected to come in at 5.5%. So even when the economy's bad, as you can see, Japan has relatively low unemployment, so that's not a bad thing. But I think we're really going to see the yen move on tomorrow's Australian interest rate decision. If they do move rates in Australia, then expect carry traders to come back in and say game on, which means that we could see some more yen weakness. So in other news, oil's back over $80 a barrel, and gold is at roughly $11.18 an ounce. All right, so this morning, the main focus here is on British pound. This is actually a good thing for the Eurozone because hopefully it's going to shift the focus away from the problems they're having. Now, a lot of people are talking about the situation in the UK being similar to that of Greece, but I just want to remind you that these two economies couldn't be more dissimilar. Also, in England, they have many more options regarding how to handle their situation versus what the Eurozone can do with Greece. So while we may see some temporary pound weakness, just know that the UK economy is still probably going to do better than the euro in the long run. So just remember, always trade what you see and not what you think you know. I'm Mike Conlon. Thanks for being with me. Let's see you next time.